Template Tuesday, and we will be working with the new 2025 annual catalog template pages to create more samples and more inspiration for our idea box. I like to call it my pattern box, and I just keep my sample templates with the dimensions and the measurements right on there so that when I'm like needing some ideas, I can just flip through my pattern box and I'm good to go. So I hope this is helpful for you. I know last year when we did this series, working through the annual catalog, I got so much positive feedback from you guys that you loved it. So we decided to continue the party for 2025 annual catalog and go through all the templates in there as well. So let's get started with today's template number 1 in the 2025 annual catalog. Okay, so here is the 2025 annual catalog, and if I am your preferred demonstrator and you would love a annual catalog package from me, if you haven't got yours already, just let me know and I'll be happy to send that your way. So if you notice, I have these tabs on my catalog. You can put those on there. I just like to have them for easy reference, you know, to be able to find the different sections. And they're just sticky tabs there. And we will be working with page 24 in the 2025 annual catalog. There are 14 card and tag templates. I thought that was a fun update for this year. There's also some scrapbook page templates in here as well. But we're going to start working through these first 14 templates, and today will be number 1. Now the numbers are not in your catalog, but I just took a marker and went through 14 so we could work through them. So today we will start with template number 1, and I'm going to be using some fun pieces that I think you're going to love. So I've got my basic white card base, so that is what I will use for our template. And then I'm going to be using, so if we notice in our catalog on that page, template number 1 has a tag on the card. One of my favorite ways to decorate my cards is by using tags. I think that's just a fun way. Of course, you can make it into a gift tag as well, but we're going to just work from here. And so for this main tag piece, you could absolutely cut a tag. You could just measure out a layer and cut that down to size. But I'm going to use something that I think is going to make this really easy for you. So we have different ephemera packs, and so one of the new ones that we have online in our online store is called Foiled Frames and Labels Ephemera Pack. And I just keep mine. You can buy empty stamp cases, and so that is what I do. They're the perfect size, and you can see it comes with all of these great tags already laser cut for us. So I've already punched out some of those for us, and each one comes with the tag, or the shape I should say, and it comes with this kind of outer piece, this outer frame, which I think is so pretty, right? You could use this alone on a card or the tag. So today we're going to use the tag just by itself. I'll save the frame for another project. So that's part number 1 to today's card. There's a circle on our card, so I just punched from some of our designer series paper. This is that beautiful new cloud cover color on the DSP, so I've got one of those. We're going to need a sentiment banner, and so I am going to use, this makes it so easy, I can't wait to show you this. So we have a new stamp set called More Messages, and a die that goes with it. And so it is a single stamp. So this is one giant big stamp. You can see it there. And it's got all the different sentiments. And they go with all occasions, right? Hi there, way to go, you can do anything, forever friends, miss you, oh happy day, time to celebrate. So many great choices. And then one great big die. And so here is the fun thing with this. you can stamp all of it, right? And die cut all of it at one time. And then now you have this great, I just have these clear pockets that I keep inside my stamp sets. And I've got all of these sentiments now ready to go for all the projects that I might need. So I did them in a few different colors and I just have them ready to go. Maybe we will do this one. You can do anything. That's a good one, right? We'll see. So I love that they are all one piece. So you can stamp it once, die cut it once, and you've got, I don't know how many there are, a whole lot of sentiments ready to go for your projects. So this template's going to be super easy. We'll just follow right along in our catalog here. So there it is. Number one, we've got our card base here, and I've got my liquid glue. And we're just gonna go ahead and adhere this. Any of these, of course, you can pop up on dimensionals. I am just using glue because in my pattern box, they lay a bit flatter, right? So I am just gonna go ahead and adhere that down. So I'm just following along with my template. So I've got my tag piece down. Actually, I forgot a step. So we're gonna need to put a hole in this. So these are our mini tag punches. I love these. So we're just gonna do this while it's attached. Now, I would recommend you do that before, but look, you can easily do it after. A whole nother reason why I love our liquid adhesive, right? Gives us a little bit of that wiggle room. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our designer paper. This, of course, could be a piece of cardstock. It could be a embossed layer. You could even put a sentiment here, right? Then we will take our sentiment, or you can do anything. Just add a little bit of adhesive there, and we will just line that up. Oh, I think that looks great. Then if we're following along in our template, you'll see that there are all these small kind of circles on there. So you could absolutely cut that out of, using some die cuts. You could use some different ephemera pieces. As we're coming up in our templates, I'm going to show you some fun ways to use some different things you can do with the different images in these templates. So today we're going to keep it easy, and we are going to use some embellishments for those circles. And we have these beautiful new in color flat pearls. We've got the strawberry slush and the darling duckling, timid tiger, of course our cloud cover, that's what we use today, and then our secret sea, our new secret sea. So let me grab my take your pick tool. I'm going to go ahead and use the cloud cover ones. I love these because there's 3 different sizes we can use, so it's perfect for this template. So if you notice in the bottom corner of the template, there are 3. So there is 1, then there is a medium one, let's see, over here. And on the template, it's right under the tag. Here, we're just gonna do it just like so, and then we're gonna make our little small one right next to that one. Then there's another one here kind of right above, so we use a bigger guy for this, and this one is kind of on the edge. So there we go. And then we have 2 in kind of that top left corner, so we'll put 1 up here, and then we'll use a smaller one just right on that edge. So if you're following along in the templates, you could mark this template number 1. You could absolutely measure this, right? And if you wanted to just cut a layer, you could do that there. It would be, let's see, about 2 3/4, depending on your tag, but this one is 2 3/4 by about 4. And so you could cut a rectangle there and do a punch just the same, right? So to finish this template, I'm just gonna take some white baker's twine here, and I will just go ahead and cut that. I'm going to feed this through the little hole I did. So I love these punches because if you're using ribbon, it will fit right through. Since this is my pattern here, I wanted to use the baker's twine because it is more flat, right, for my template. So I'm just going to tie a quick bow here, just like I'm tying my laces, and then we'll just pull our ends here and make sure we like how that looks, and we will trim our tails here. I don't need it quite as long. You could also leave that off if you didn't want to put any ribbon there. And what a beautiful template, right? So easy, so wowy. This back piece could be a designer series paper. We could switch this to some embossing. So many options with our templates. So of course I made some cards that you could, see some of this in action. So the first one is using another one of those frames, foiled frames and label ephemera pack. This is just a different shape. I added some die cutting instead of that circle, so you can see you can flip-flop those. I added my sentiment, and then I did spray it with my Wink of Stella shimmer and added some dragonflies in place of those dot embellishments, right? So there's another option. If you wanted to use and make your own type of tag, this one is our arched frame dies. You can see I did the same type of embellishments there, used another one. All of these sentiments came from that More Messages set. So you can see there's so many variations and all kinds of different shapes. This is another one of those designer series paper, and this same designer paper that I used for this circle is my background here. So you could easily add a layer behind all of that just to change it up a little bit. And then if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, last month we had the most beautiful paper pumpkin with like watercolor images, and so I made an alternative card using this template. So you can see I used a tag die cut and I just added that. These are the pieces that came from that paper pumpkin. I used the sentiment in that paper pumpkin kit. Here's the envelope that goes with it. Isn't that beautiful? That coordinating envelope. And then I just used some Petunia Pop ribbon. You can see went right through that tag, and then just a little bit of gold thread. So there's lots and lots of options that this one template can create. I mean, they all look so different, but it's the same kind of bones of the template, which is so helpful when you are creating, right? So I hope you enjoyed template number 1. Grab your catalog and follow along with me. I hope that you will comment and tell me how much you love going through these templates, and just really seeing them in action, I think, is the biggest difference. So I'll be doing this each week on Tuesdays, Template Tuesdays in 2025, to go through these in our annual catalog. So let me flip the camera so I can say hello and goodbye again. And thanks so much for joining me today on Template Tuesday. I will see you on Thursday for another card making video, and then next Tuesday again for another Template Tuesday. Thanks so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. And as always, you can check out my blog at stampinqueenbee.com. You can find any of my past projects or videos, and all of my past projects and PDF downloadable tutorials are free. I just keep them all there. You can print them, follow along. They have the supply list and the step-by-step instructions, the measurements, everything that you need to create those cards. So have a great week, and thanks so much for being here, and I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.